This is a super easy and fun recipe to make, and if you like tacos, you are going to love this dish. Welcome to the Salted Pepper, where we cook for real life using real food and we keep it real simple. And today's recipe is really simple. It is for walking tacos, but we're gonna do it two different ways to keep things really interesting so that you have some choices how to serve it. So we're gonna first make a traditional walking taco or a taco in a bag, and then I'm gonna show you how to change that up just a little bit using the NInja Foodi to make a walking taco casserole that is great for any night of the week, and your family's going to love it. So the first thing we want to do is get our ground beef, which is 1 pound of 80/20, and that's what I recommend for the best flavor, but you could also use turkey meat or a leaner ground beef or ground chicken. That would be fine. All right, so I'm going to turn the NInja Foodi on to sear saute and hit the start button. We're going to let that heat up for a few minutes, and I will go over the spice blend. Okay, I have 1 teaspoon of sea salt, which is fine grind. That is very important. You don't want to use table salt. It will make your dish way too salty. I have 1.5 teaspoons of a dark chili powder, but you could use a lighter chili powder. That would be fine. 1.5 teaspoons of cumin, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, which is what I prefer, but you could use a regular paprika or omit that altogether. That would be fine. And then I have 1/2 teaspoon of chipotle. 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon is what you want. So if you want just a little mild spice, use a 1/4 teaspoon. If you like it spicy, use 1/2 teaspoon. Okay, 1/2 teaspoon is going to be spicy though, so make sure that you adjust your seasonings to your taste. And I have 1/2 an onion that I've chopped up into about 1/2 inch dice. I hear the NInja Foodi starting to sizzle, so I'm gonna go ahead and add in my ground beef and my seasonings. Dump those right on top. And my onions. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in the salsa right now. And what I have here is 1 cup of prepared salsa, so your favorite kind will do. I think this is a medium heat. You could use mild, medium, or spicy. So go ahead and dump that in. Now we're going to break up the meat. What I'm going to use to do that is the mix and chop, but you could use any kind of, a turner or spatula or anything else that you have, as long as it's safe for the nonstick. We're going to break up the meat and get it mixed in with everything and let it saute just to brown up and combine with the seasonings and the salsa. And I'm adding the salsa in now just because I didn't want to add any extra oil, and I think it helps just get everything going and starting to simmer the meat. But I don't add the beans in yet because I don't want to break the beans up. You could also use your favorite taco seasoning if you wanted. So if you wanted to skip my blend and just use the prepared taco seasoning, that's perfectly fine. All right, we're just gonna let that heat up, and we want to completely cook the ground beef. We're not going under pressure in this recipe. We are simply using the sear saute, so you could easily do this on the stove, no problems. All right, next thing is 1 can of green chilies in the juice. And I think the cans are about 6 ounces. I will check on that though and let you know, but it's 3/4 cup. And with the juice, I'm going to put those in. They come in mild and hot as well. So use your judgment which one you want to use. These are the mild. Now the beans. The beans that I'm using are chili beans. I'm not going to add them in yet because remember, don't want to break them up. These are chili beans, so they are in a sauce. They're labeled chili beans on the store shelf. They're kidney beans in a chili sauce, and they add such a nice flavor to this dish. So I am going to use those. 4 ounces of cream cheese, and it can be room temperature, will make it easier to blend in. So just take it out about an hour before you start making the dish if you have the time. And that is it to start the base of our walking taco. And then I'll show you, as soon as this starts to simmer, I'll show you the toppings that I'm gonna put on, how we're gonna put it into a bag. So this is a fun party food. You can make up a batch of this, have a ton of different toppings available, and just bags of Fritos or Doritos, and people can make their own walking taco. But if you didn't feel like going to all that trouble, I'm gonna then turn this into a walking taco casserole that again is perfect for any night of the week to feed your family when you have the desire for tacos but want to make it just a little bit easier. All right, so the ground beef is almost completely cooked. I'm gonna go ahead and add in the beans now. And I'm gonna turn the heat down. We don't need it to continue to boil, so I'm gonna turn the temperature down to about low medium. You can adjust that up and down, but for now I'm gonna take the heat down some. And now the cream cheese, it's been sitting out for about 30 minutes or so. And so it doesn't clump up, I'm gonna go ahead and just take off bits and pieces and put it in. That's just gonna make it a little bit easier to blend in. Now the cream cheese is completely optional. You do not have to add it, but I thought it gave a nice flavor to this dish. All right, just give it all a stir, and then we're just gonna let this sit. Now, you could turn this on slow cook. So let's say you were having a huge party and you needed to make maybe 2 or 3 batches of this. You could double or triple all of the ingredients and go ahead and put it on slow cook. That would be perfectly fine. Then, it'll be ready when you're ready to serve it. But since we're gonna get ready and eat it real quick, I'm just gonna use the sear saute on medium low for now. All right. Very good. All right, while that simmers, I'm gonna get all my toppings made up, and then we are gonna make a walking taco in a bag, or taco in a bag it's called. And then after I show you that, then we'll turn this into a casserole. All right, so it's been about 15 minutes. I did all my prep. I'll go over the toppings that I chose to use for my walking taco or taco in a bag. But now let's check on this mixture here. We want to make sure that our ground beef and bean mixture, all of the cream cheese has melted. Looks like most of mine has. There's just a little bit left. So I'm just going to stir that around, and that should melt up just fine. If for some reason it's not melting, turn your heat up a little bit. That's perfectly fine. But it looks pretty good. All right, so the idea behind a walking taco or taco in a bag, this was like a fair food. So if you were at the fair and you wanted a taco, you would get a bag of Doritos or Fritos, and all your favorite taco toppings would go into the bag. But it's also a really fun way to have kind of a serve yourself party. So you can get a whole bunch of different little bags of Fritos. Doritos work really well, whatever you like. We just happen to be Frito people here in this house. Jeff loves Fritos, everything Fritos. And then you cut up different toppings. They can be whatever you like. I chose some jalapeno slices, some shredded lettuce, some fresh tomatoes, some white onion, which is actually a sweet onion. That's just what I prefer. Some chopped up cilantro, some cheese, and of course some sour cream. So now I'm gonna make my walking taco in a bag. And then we'll move on to making this into a casserole. Let me grab a bag here, and I'll put this over there. The first thing you want to do is break up your Doritos or Fritos just a little bit. The idea is we're going to put a fork in here and we're going to eat it right out of the bag. So we don't want really big pieces of anything. So we're just going to kind of, whoa, but don't do that. That's okay. All right, I've got little pieces there. That was hysterical, wasn't it? All right, now, first thing you want to add in, always add your cheese first. That way it will melt and get ooey gooey when we put in the hot toppings. So what I have here is a blend of shredded cheddar, a sharp cheddar, and also just a Mexican blend that I got in a bag. And that's what I like to use, but you could use whatever cheeses you like. Even a pepper jack would be nice if you wanted a real, a real spicy dish. All right, so about a tablespoon of cheese goes into the bag there. My cutting board's clean. I'm throwing these in. I don't eat Fritos too often, so I'm gonna savor every bit of this. All right, so let's scoop out some of this mixture and throw it right into the bag. Probably just 1 to 2 tablespoons is all you need. All right, now let's get our cold toppings. So I'm gonna put a little lettuce in there. I'm gonna put a little tomato in there. I'm gonna put a little onion. And I actually had spoons for all of these. And certainly if you're serving a crowd, use spoons for everything so people aren't digging in with their hands. But hey, you know what? It's just me and Jeff here, so he's just gonna have to deal with it. All right, let's get some jalapenos in there. I'm looking forward to this. I'm gonna now call it my upside down walking taco thing. I'm gonna put just 1 jalapeno pepper in there. All right. I've never had one of these before, so this is going to be kind of fun. I will say, though, that it actually gets a little warm. Maybe you would want that to cool down some. Like, not that I'm going to burn myself, but if you're having a party, I would probably let that cool just a little bit. All right, let's mix it up and let's see what happens. This is fun. This is a lot of fun. I can see where it's going to be good, too. It looks... Oh, I forgot the sour cream. Oh, we gotta have the sour cream in there. Oh my gosh, now it really looks good. Look at that. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh my goodness, this could be one of the best things I've ever tasted. Wow. All right, so let's go ahead and turn this into a walking taco casserole. It is equally delicious, although I will say eating out of the bag was kind of fun. So I did enjoy that, but the flavors are exactly the same and it's really, really good. All right, so we've got our mixture here. I'm just gonna stir it around. All of the cream cheese has been melted in there. It looks really good. The issue is it's a little bit runny for a casserole type of serving. So what we're gonna do is add in 1 cup of Fritos. That's about a cup there. And about 1/2 cup of cheese. You can obviously use as much or as little as you want. The reason why I'm going a little bit less on this is because Jeff made me take some out because he wanted a walking taco. He's been eating the taco casserole and he loves it, but he really wanted a walking taco. So if you have a full pot like I used to, you're definitely going to use a good full cup of the Fritos and 1/2 cup to 1 cup of cheese, whichever you like. All right, now we're going to bake this on 350 for about 10 minutes. So we need to go over to the bake roast function, take it down to 350. And I think it defaults to 15. Let's take it up to 20. We're gonna go 10 minutes and then we're gonna add a cheese and Frito topping to it. Bake it again so that all the cheese is melted and the Fritos are crispy. And then you can decide if you wanna spoon it out and then top it, or if you just wanna throw all the toppings right on top and have people dig in and put it on their plate. So that'll be up to you. All right, so it's been 10 minutes. Let's take a peek here, and it looks good. So it has now reduced the liquid amount, so it's gonna be more casserole-like. Now we need to get our toppings on. So I put more Fritos on here, and I just sort of scatter them around. The Fritos that are in the casserole now are gonna be on the softer side. So you want the difference in the texture by putting some on the top. And then I put some cheese on top. And I just spread that around. You can use as much or as little as you like. And then I go another 5 to 10 minutes. We just want the cheese to be nicely melted. All right, so it's been 5 minutes and let's take a peek at it. Oh, that is done, definitely done. Oh my goodness, it looks so good. I would not do this if you wanted to have leftovers. Only do this if you think your entire family is gonna devour it. So, because it's not gonna reheat too well. So then just spread on your onions or whatever toppings you like. And I like to go in this order because if you do decide to try to salvage any for leftovers, the onions won't matter if they're in there, the cilantro won't matter. I keep the lettuce and the tomato on top so I can kind of scoop those off. Little bit of cilantro. Now we like spice, so I'm gonna go ahead and put these on. Try to spread them out a little bit. All right, then I would put on the lettuce. And then the tomatoes. Or you could use more salsa if you wanted, if you didn't feel like chopping tomatoes. The sour cream, I would definitely wait until you're serving it to put on. That would be my preference anyway. All right, there we go. So now let's scoop it out and see what it tastes like. Well, I know what it tastes like in the bag. Let's see if there's any differences when we do it casserole. Casserole-ish. All right. Oh my gosh, it's crunchy. Oh my goodness. This looks fantastic. Wow, that looks so good. Now keep in mind that yours will have more of the meat mixture. And the reason being is because Jeff made me take out a good half of it because he wants to really try the tacos in a bag. All right, let me put a little dollop of sour cream on top. There we go. Look, that is really pretty. I mean, it's kind of like a combination of a taco salad, walking taco casserole. It's really, really attractive. Super easy to make, that's for sure. All right, let's dig in. Let's see if it should taste exactly like the walking taco in a bag. Let's see. A little cilantro, a little lettuce. Wow. I honestly do not know which one I like better. This is delicious. I'm thinking I prefer it as a casserole. Even though it's super fun to eat in the bag, it just was a little bit on the messy side as you got down to the bottom of the bag and stuff. And the bag got hot when we put in the hot ingredients. But either way you serve it, you are going to love it. So if you're having a party, have some fun with it. Do the walking tacos or the taco in a bag. And if you're serving it for dinner for your family, make it easy on yourself and make the casserole.